Yo, yo, yo! Here we go! This is a Pinkwinati production from the Sagittarius arm Earth to the Orion planet. Welcome to your new Earth. Welcome to your new normal.
Hi y'all. So there are 5 reasons why I refer to old Earth and new Earth. First, you gotta call it something, right? And I've said before, I love the fact that we are getting to create new vocabulary and a whole new language for describing this experience that we're going through. So right now, I'm choosing to call it old Earth and new Earth, partly because I don't know what else to call it. The second reason, and really I think there are 4 other valid reasons why we may actually be on a whole different planet. And if you're not familiar with the Mandela effect, or if you only have a passing interest in it, but you're not truly experiencing it, then you may think, well, that lady's just taken it a little bit too far. I mean, just because they changed some brand names and the Bible changes doesn't mean that we're necessarily on a whole different planet. And that's definitely true. But I do think there are 4 good potential reasons why we may, or at least our consciousness may be on a whole different place, in a whole different place. Maybe in the same time. Maybe there was no time travel involved. Maybe our consciousness just shifted from one planet, Earth, to another planet, Earth. In the same galaxy, not in the same galaxy. Who knows? But these are, besides the necessity of having to create vocabulary, these are the 4 reasons why I think for sure we're on a different planet. A lot of people remember us being on the Sagittarius arm of the Milky Way galaxy. I'm not going to claim that as one of my things, although it does ring a bell, but I'm not going to say I knew that for sure. But there are people who just had a passing interest in astronomy, and they remember us being on the Sagittarius arm. And there are people who had more than just a passing interest, people who really, they were fascinated by it, and they had maps of the constellations and all of that stuff up in their bedrooms, and they studied it every night, and they wrote school papers about it. I never wrote school papers about the universe, so I really can't help us out there. And besides those people, there are people who have made it a living to know exactly where our planet is in the galaxy. One of those people, and he is a controversial person, I understand that, but most of y'all have probably seen the episode of Star Talk where Neil deGrasse Tyson is talking about our location, and he works himself up through to the galaxy, and he says, we're on the Sagittarius arm in the Milky Way galaxy. And the other people on the panel were just like,
Earth, solar system, Sagittarius arm,
Ooh,
Milky Way galaxy, Sagittarius arm,
Ooh,
Milky Way galaxy. Solar system, Sagittarius arm.
nobody said, shh, Sagittarius arm, don't you mean the Orion spur? Which is apparently where we are now. And And I know some people are going to say, well, hey, that's Neil deGrasse. Okay, but there's a whole bunch of other residual evidence out there to indicate that some of us come from a location that was different than where we find ourselves to be now. But I think that's where we came from. So I'm pretty sure at some point there was an Earth there. Maybe it's still there, maybe it's not. Reason number 3. The geography, the whole geography everything about the geography has changed, and even I think some people say the shape even. What seems odd, considering everything else is new, like, again, the geography. That's why that's reason number 3, why I think we're on a different planet. What else? Oh, the sky. I mean, come on, the sun, the stars, the moon. For the first time in my life, I've seen what people mean when they talk about the man in the moon. There was a face. I don't see it all the time, but I've seen it a couple of times since we, the sun, I know that whole sky is completely different. That's new. Reason number 5, our anatomy. Now, I know a lot of y'all who are experiencing the ME, and certainly y'all who aren't, don't feel like we have new anatomy. And maybe y'all don't. Maybe y'all shifted from a place where you had the anatomy that matched the anatomy that's here. I didn't. I came from a place where our liver did not go. Have y'all seen it lately? Seriously, look it up. According to Google, because I haven't been to the library in like a few days, stuff changes. But according to Google, our liver starts over here, has 2 lobes, and goes all the way, basically goes from one side of your torso to the other. And it has 2 lobes. It's cut like, it's not cut, but like wrapped, like it's been that lap band surgery. The liver. So for some of us, this anatomy is completely new. That's why I think our consciousness shifted from one place where we were familiar with a different anatomy to a different place where I think this body has been here the whole time. But now my consciousness is here, in this body. Do I hear my dog sighing? On this planet. Those are the 5 reasons why I think we are on a whole different planet. Or at least I say we are. You gotta call it something, because a lot of the smart astronomy people remember us being on Sagittarius. Because the sky is completely different, the geography is completely different, and the anatomy is completely different. That's why. If you think I'm just completely out, and you know what? I'm not, sometimes people are like, oh, you're gonna mess up the credibility of Mandela effect people. Really, among people who aren't experiencing this, you don't really have all that much credibility. And I am doing my best. That's one of the reasons I'm speaking out, right?
This has been a Pinguinati production. If you'd like to support the channel, links are in the description.